Hey, hello. I was working this week on finishing up the last couple of portals I need. And this is a 10 Priory of the Sacred Flame. It's a little bit of damage going out in this one, but I did record it and thought I'd go back over and do some commentary on how I approach this dungeon. Set up with the Wowhead Frostfire build for Mythic, and I do run Death's Chill.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The expedition built the Priory as a place to contemplate the mysteries of Belladar.
This whole first room
But
requires
the devotees have become
stuns
secretive,
for the footmen, get out of that defend, and then interrupts to
the gods
as
to
possible.
kill. Captain Dale cries protecting something.
Our tank went to that corner there, try to get all the mobs in one place. One trick here is those sharpshooters that jump around, they jump two people kinda, so if you all kind of move in, it'll help bait them to jump in. It's a pretty nice size pull, so I went with Icy Veins and the Death's Chill stack to start. I always pop Mirror Image along with that too. Once I got the Death's Chill stacked, I'll pop the Frozen Orb in if I haven't already, and then Comet Storm, Cone of Cold, Comet Storm again. Then you should have Orb or Blizzard up, and you just keep pumping those in. So you can see our healers drinking. We pulled another pack while we're waiting for the next little mini boss guy. The priest is the one we're watching in this particular chunk. Not actually sure I could have done much about that lunging strike. But then again, you know, in hindsight, there's always something you could have done, maybe. So I do have full cooldowns back up, but I've been holding since we don't have much left on this guy. We are on Discord for this run, but Discord chat I exclude from these videos for the most part. So we're grabbing another pack of mobs to work on. Once again, I got the priest targeted, looking for interrupts on the heal, and the smite, because we do have some stuns we can use. Supernova seems to work on for interrupts on most everything. In these dungeons that I need an interrupter stun, but I do have a feeling there are some things that Dragon's Breath might be more effective on. The Dragon's Breath is a little trickier to use since you you have to be directly point blank melee range, just like the Cone of Cold. So. I tend to play pretty close so we can kind of get our orbs into the packs deep enough to hit everything. And then, of course, for the Cone of Cold resets and stuff.
Overcome this trial. Win my faith.
As you can see, even without using Icy Veins, if we've got Cone of Cold up and we're doing AoE, we can still do a pretty good amount of damage. I was saving my Icy Veins for this mini boss pull, which I knew was coming. It's going to be pretty meaty. I've already put up Mirror Image and I'm going into Dash Chill Stack and then move in for the AoE combos there. If you got enough mobs in there, then those blizzards we're throwing down on cooldown, they're going to be giving us a lot of frozen orb procs. That's where a lot of damage is going to come from. But as the group of mobs kind of shrinks on down, we only got 2 or 3 mobs, I'll back off and start stacking ice skulls so I can get glacial spikes out. That'll be better damage. At least I think so. So I don't have Icy Veins up for this. I started off with a Blizzard, then moved up. I did have Cone of Cold up so I could throw the orb in, get the Blizzard, Cone of Cold, Comet Storm again. This can actually be a little bit of a dangerous pull. Because those sharpshooters, they decide to target you. They can do a lot of damage. The knights too do the AoE damage attack, so.
Ours is the true path for the Arathi!
This boss is not too bad. Just do what you can to interrupt the battle cry and watch out for the spear. That spear is going to be a one-shot. icy veins come back up, so stack that up. I'm rolling as best I can. We actually do pretty good 2 to 3 target cleave. Frost, so. Because it's not the big pack of mobs, you're not really thinking, hey, I got a blizzard, keep that rolling. It's more about stacking those icicles as quick as you can so you can get those glacials out. And I do make an effort to make sure that I have Winter's Chill up or a Flurry to follow to get them to crit. I don't think technically you have to. In some cases it might actually be better just to launch it so you're not losing the icicles. But what I try to do is fish with 1 or 2 Frostfire bolts, see if I don't get a Flurry or a Winter's Chill up sometime. We seem to get flurries quite a bit, so I don't mind fish once or twice.
Finish them off, Lieutenant. My spear! Glory!
Dalcry was an Arathi hero.
Was a little bit risky of a pull bringing that pack in, but
To turn against
I
Hammerfall.
think our tank does a pretty good job at calculating out the route and how much percentage he wants to get from where.
Are these steel strikes, lackeys? Guard! Guard!
Now the pulls in this room are tricky. One thing we can definitely do is keep an eye on Templars and spell steal the buff they put up on themselves, because when they have that buff up they do a lot of damage. Looks like I must have pulled aggro from somebody there. Oh, looks like I was peeking up close to 10 million. Yeah, I would do it. That's a shame though. I think somehow, looking at my cooldowns there, my mirror image is desynced, so I wasn't able to use mirror image along with that. So I already did one spell steal off the Templar, but I am watching the priest there as well.
Overcome this trial. Win.
That old fool's sister blaze. Destroy these outsiders.
Looks like my cooldowns are synced back up as far as mirror image and icy, so let's see if I'm using them here. Yep, there it is.
The youthful to the Empire has passed. Soon the true faithful will arise, and the Arathi will be mighty.
I kind of waited a little bit to send Icy Veins because I wanted to make sure it was up running into this next pack.
They've served their purpose. Baron, demonstrate your worth.
Those who oppose the Emperor will fall at our feet. By the Emperor's will!
Of course, this fight has a few different mechanics going. I actually make a mistake in this fight that I'll talk about. Of course, you gather up tight so you can drop hammers in one place, just like we did, and that was great. Next thing he's going to do is put up a sacrificial pyre, and once that's up, you know, you can go take a stack of that. But that's the error there, is right after he puts up that pyre, he's going to do that shield, which is a pretty good amount of tick damage as soon as it goes down, and you're going to take it just because that's the way it works. But if you have the dot on you from the sacrificial thing too, you're going to die just like I did. So the right thing to do is to let the pyre go out, then wait for this castigator shield that goes down. This time it didn't land on top of me, but the pyre will be up. It has a pretty good timer, so you can go and run into it and help take off these stacks after the shield. That's the way to go. We can see that again. Sacrificial pyre goes out. We're gonna wait a little bit because that shield popped out just then. See? And I do believe our tank took care of the pyre by himself there, or somebody did.
Resist. Yes.
That was not such a clean hammer stack, but that happens. And the boss was just about down, so that's a tricky fight. Lots of damage going out. I should have just let the pallies take care of the pyre instead of trying to help out. Didn't have Icy up for that, though I did have Cone of Cold, but everything is back up for this pack. I tend to stack up to 15, but I think if you wanted to, you could just roll it up to 12 and start your AoE too. I don't think there's too much difference, especially at this key level. You can see the mobs are almost dead. maybe on a little higher key where those mobs can be up longer, it would be more worth it to stack it to 15. I think the idea is that you'll get the insta-cast Frostfire Bolt buff somewhere in your rotation, and you'll get the last stack that way, which is a valid way to go to.
Filed a secret flame by animating the dead. No better than a corpse.
Our tank is pulling at a pretty steady pace, which means that pretty much every time Cone of Cold comes back up, I have a pack to use it on, which is pretty nice. And every other one's going to have Icy Veins along with it too. But like in this case, Cone of Cold still got 8 seconds and Icy Veins is up, but that works out perfect because that gives me time to stack my Death Chill. And line up all my cooldowns, start dumping damage in pretty well. Yeah, I just used a Blast Wave there. Don't forget that we have that. Mine is not talented to push things real far, it just gives a little bump. But sometimes that bump is helpful to get mobs a little closer grouped, and of course just to help interrupt. Now this pack is pretty brutal. I'm not sure that our tank meant to get the footmen too along with these three, because the 2 priests plus the Brawn Pike guy, a Brawn Pike does a lot of AoE damage to everybody. But yeah, this one's real important to keep an eye on those 2 priests, because they're going to be popping heals too, and if they get heals off, we're going to wipe on this one. That was a pack, I guess 4 mobs when we started, which is fine, but that works out pretty good because my Icy Veins is back up for this pull, which has a lot of mobs, which I can get better damage at them. Just stack up that Death Chill. Like I said, the mobs do seem to disappear pretty quick, and then you have less of them getting hit by your blizzard and frozen orbs and stuff like that, so there's something to be said about only stacking up to 12. And I think some people don't even take Death Chill in this size key. They'll just go with that Death Chill. I like it though. It seems to do pretty good for me. Lower than a 10, which I don't do a lot of anymore, but on the Mage. I did notice you don't, by the time you get some Death Chill stacked up, mobs are already past halfway dead, so you are losing value in that case. this first phase, I actually try to stay back a little bit towards the edge of the room, so if I do get that beam of fire, I can run it along the back. Try to keep room open for people.
Brothers and sisters, hearken to the flame!
But I like the way this was stacking up. That icy veins mirror image up. So while these mobs are coming up, I'm stacking up my death chill, which doesn't stack real quick if you don't have multiple mobs out there, but that's okay. And with my orbs and blizzards, I do a pretty good job here slowing down the mobs.
Resist. Yes. Resist. And yet,
So this boss actually went pretty clean.
The Empire will see you burn.
It is done.
And there we go. That's how I ran that one. Not perfect. I died a couple times, but I did some good stuff along the way too. And then I think I'll have learned where I died. Try to avoid that next time. And that's what it's all about. As we start pushing up the hierarchies too, right? Want to get better and better each time. Well, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one.